What is up, YouTube, and welcome to a new video. So in today's video, I'm going to do something a little different, and I'm just going to sit down and take you guys through my journey going from a youth soccer player all the way to a professional soccer player. So a few of you guys have asked for this video, so I'm going to do my best to hopefully take you guys through an accurate representation of how I got to where I am. So without further ado, here we go. And like always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below, let me know what you guys think, any questions you guys have, or just say what's up, like always. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so a little background information before I get started. My family isn't really a soccer family. None of my parents played soccer. My relatives, I don't really have any relatives that play soccer, so I was kind of the first guy in my family to play soccer. So I think when I first started was actually technically kindergarten. I played like super casual, like rec soccer, I remember, when I was in kindergarten, but then my family moved around a little for a few years, so I didn't start playing soccer again until I was in 5th grade, and that was rec soccer. So I was playing rec soccer as a 5th grader, and I played rec soccer for my 5th grade year and my 6th grade year of school, and I wanted to try out for the travel team, so I tried out at the end of my 6th grade year for the travel team, and I made it for my 7th grade year. So I made the classic team for a local club in Richmond called Chesterfield United. They're no longer around anymore, but I made the classic team, which is technically the B team. So there's elite and then classic, or that's how it was for the club that I played at. So I was on the classic team, and that was my 7th grade year of school. And my 7th grade year of school and the first half of my 8th grade year of school, I was playing on the classic team. And then I tried out again when the yearly tryouts come around. We always had tryouts before the fall and before the spring season. So the tryouts before the spring season for my 8th grade year, so the second half of my 8th grade year, I actually made the elite team. So I was playing for the elite team my 8th grade year of my local club, Chesterfield United. So that was kind of up until I finished middle school. So I played for my B team in 6th and 7th grade, and then the A team, you could call it, for 8th grade of the local club. And there were a few big clubs in Richmond at the time, but if I'm being honest, the club that I played for was probably the smallest one out of those. So whenever we would play against the bigger clubs in Richmond, we'd compete, but we would rarely win. So in my head, I wanted to move to a different club to hopefully win some more games. I remember one of my seasons for the B team, we lost every game and we didn't even score a single goal until the last game of the season. So we were losing a lot. So I wanted to move and see if I could play for a better team, because it would make me a better player, and also it would be nice to win a few more games. So I ended up trying out for a few of the teams in my area going into my 9th grade year, and I ended up making the elite team for a local club called Richmond Kickers. So they're still around. I made the elite team there, but for Kickers, their elite team was not the highest team at their club. At that time, they had an academy team, which was in the Development Academy, or the DA. So they had a DA team at the time. So I wasn't even on the highest team in that club when I made the elite team. But the level was obviously higher than where I was before, so I was happy with it. And I was on the elite team for Richmond Kickers my freshman year of high school, which was 2013. And I also played high school soccer. So I made the varsity team of my high school at collegiate. So I was playing soccer for my high school and for Richmond Kickers. And at my high school, the soccer season was in the fall. So the fall of my freshman year, I was playing high school soccer with the varsity team, and then I was also playing Richmond Kickers Elite. So I played high school soccer. I played 9th through 12th grade. So I played all 4 years of my high school. I played high school soccer. And then on top of that, I was playing Elite for Richmond Kickers my freshman year and my sophomore year. And then my junior year, my mom had some health issues. So I actually had to stop playing club just because it was really difficult to get to all the practices and even the games on the weekends. It was difficult. So I ended up not playing club my junior year, but I still played high school. And luckily enough, my high school actually had a futsal team as well. So on top of outdoor soccer, in the winter seasons, I was able to play futsal all 4 years of high school, which I thought was an amazing opportunity. So my junior year, I played school soccer in the fall, futsal in the winter, and then I just did off-season lifting and pickup and training in the spring. So junior year was kind of when I realized that I kind of wanted to make a push at playing pro. So I think I started watching Matt Sheldon, his YouTube channel, probably earlier than my junior year. So I started training a lot like him and got a lot of drills from him. So I would train a lot using those drills like since my freshman year, but then junior year I really decided I want to do this. So I started training a lot more on my own, more consistently, taking soccer more seriously. So junior year was just high school soccer, futsal, and then off season, like I said. And then senior year, I tried out for the Richmond Kickers again because I wanted to play club team and high school. I wanted to get as much soccer in as I could, trying to improve as much as I could. So I did that, and then I made the team, the Richmond Kickers Elite team, and then I was also playing high school soccer. So the fall of my senior year, I was playing Richmond Kickers Elite and high school soccer. And then the winter of my senior year of high school, so this was 2016 going into 2017, I did futsal. And then in the spring, I did off season, and then I also reached out to the local academy team. So at that time, they actually merged Richmond Kickers and Richmond Strikers Academy and made Richmond United. So I reached out to Richmond United and asked to have a trial with them because at this point, my parents didn't go to college in America, so they didn't know the college recruiting process for soccer, let alone just normal, college applications. They didn't really understand it that well. I didn't understand it that well. I was kind of the first person in my family going through it in America too, so we were learning together. So at this point, spring of my senior year, I was making like a last gasp push to play college soccer because everywhere that I had kind of read or people I'd spoken to, if they went to college, they all played for their college. So for me, I was making a last gasp push because I thought if I don't play college, there's no way I play pro. So I was making kind of a last gasp push for college soccer, and I thought Richmond United would be the best way to kind of get myself a chance. So I ended up getting added to their roster for the spring of my senior year, and I played Richmond United for that last half of my senior year of high school. And at that time, I was going through college apps, but I was also reaching out to coaches, trying to get like a last minute offer. It was tough though. A lot of clubs a lot of coaches had their recruiting classes filled out already, but one of the schools that actually had some hope was William & Mary. So the head coach at William & Mary said that he would give me a spring trial, like a 2-week trial in the spring. So his recruiting class for the fall, he kind of had a full roster, but he said in the spring he could give me a chance with guys graduating and obviously leaving the roster. So I decided to go to William & Mary. In the fall of my freshman year, which is 2017, I played club soccer at William & Mary. I was training a lot on my own. I was lifting a lot, trying to gain some weight, get a little stronger. So I was working really hard the fall of my freshman year, and my goal was just kill the 2-week trial, get added to the roster, and then go from there. So baby steps, right? So spring comes along. Coach stayed true to his word. He gave me a 2-week trial, and I thought I killed it. and I guess maybe I didn't kill it, but I did well enough, and coach offered me a spot on the team. So the spring of my freshman year, 2018, I was training with the varsity team at William & Mary. I was on the roster there. So I was able to play in a few scrimmages, a lot of high-level training. So it was a great experience, but at the same time, obviously this wasn't the final goal for me. So I was still doing a lot of extra stuff. I was training individually a lot, lifting, and then obviously training with the team whenever we had team training. So we only trained 3 times a week because it was off season and the NCAA rules were like that. So training with them 3 times a week, lifting twice a week, and then training on my own almost every day. After my freshman spring season ended, we had the end of the year meetings with the coaches at William & Mary, and unfortunately for me, William & Mary was bringing in a pretty big recruiting class for my sophomore year, and I actually lost my spot on the team. And to the coach's credit, he did tell me before he offered me a spot that that's a big possibility if guys accept their offers and we have a big class. Like, I would obviously lose my spot because there was only a set roster number, and those guys that have offers have priority over me. So to his credit, he did tell me that would happen. He did tell me that it was a possibility to happen. So unfortunately it did, and I wasn't going to be on the team for my sophomore year. So I kind of was bummed out by that, but I reached out to a few coaches I knew around the area and just started thinking about the summer. So I was thinking, if I can get onto an NPSL team, a USL2 team, I can keep working, keep getting minutes, and then maybe if something happens, I can get a chance at William & Mary again. So I ended up playing for a local NPSL team called Legacy 76. They played in Williamsburg for that summer. So it was a great summer. Met some great people, obviously got game time, got team training at a high level. So I played NPSL my summer of 2018, so freshman year going into sophomore year. Sophomore year came around, I kept pestering the head coach at William & Mary. I emailed him almost every month just asking if something was changing, if something was happening, if there was a chance for me to come back. But nothing happened, unfortunately. So I played club soccer my whole sophomore year, fall and spring, and I was training on my own again every day, just doing whatever I could, lifting on my own, because I thought if I just get one opportunity with William & Mary, I can, solidify myself, get myself a spot back on the team, and then that'll help me get to the professional level. So I kept working my sophomore year, and then kept pestering the coach. I emailed him a ton. He probably hates me at this point, but sophomore year, nothing happened, kept pestering him. And sophomore year summer, going into my junior year, I once again reached out to the head coach, but this time I asked him if he had any way to place me with a USL2 or an NPSL team. And he actually got me a spot on Charlottesville Alliance, which was an NPSL team in Virginia. Once again, it was pretty close to my home in Richmond, so I could live at home and just commute to the trainings twice a week. So I was playing NPSL there, and funny enough, that is where I met Jake Lovinger. So my roommate Jake, we played NPSL at Charlottesville together. We actually had a pretty good team. There was a few guys that play professional now or play in college now still that were on that team. So we had a pretty good team, and that's actually where I met Jake for the first time, funny enough. So I played NPSL that summer of 2019, I believe. No, what? Yeah, I misspoke. So Legacy was summer of 2017. This was the summer of 2018. So summer of 2018, I was playing NPSL with Charlottesville Alliance, and then fall of my junior year, I kept reaching out to the coach at William & Mary. Nothing really came of it, unfortunately. So I was playing club soccer again, training on my own in the mornings and lifting, and then obviously team training with club in the evenings. So I just kept working, and then luckily enough, I actually got a text from the head coach at William & Mary saying that they were going to bring me back in for the spring of my junior year. He said they had a few openings. Guys graduated, they had a few injuries, some guys quit, and there was a spot for me. So I got a spot back on the team. So my junior year, spring, this is spring of 2019, I'm back with the team. We're training, I'm lifting, I'm training on my own like always, just because obviously I was at the bottom of the totem pole. So I needed to climb up to the top, and college obviously was also not the end goal. So I was still doing a bunch of stuff kind of outside of the team training. But anyway, with this varsity team at William & Mary, spring of my junior year, 2019, spring break comes along, go off to spring break, and then COVID hits. So I actually never went back to William & Mary till I graduated. Funny enough, after that, because everything was virtual. So my spring of junior year, after spring break, I finished at home. We were virtual. We got a training program for lifting from the strength coach to do kind of like at home. And luckily enough, I have a rack in the basement. So I was able to keep lifting and stay strong. And then I was still training. I just kept trying to figure out the best training situation for me my junior year, spring. So what ended up happening, Samir and I just every day, every morning, we were just in the garage doing dribbling or footwork or ball mastery. So that was 3-4 months where I really was just no team training, literally like individual training. I guess it wasn't individual. I was with Samir, but he had his cones and I had mine. So it was like us two doing our own sessions right next to each other. So that was for like 2-3 months every day. Mentally it was tough just because, training individually, especially for that long, it gets hard, but I think it builds character. No, I'm kidding. But it was a good experience, and I think I've said it before, but dribbling is definitely, I think, one of the weakest parts of my game. So it was a good opportunity for me to really work on that weakness. But COVID kind of shut down my opportunity with the men's team at William & Mary, my second opportunity, I should say. Because when I went back in the fall of my senior year, the team wasn't really training. There wasn't a season the fall of my senior year. And I personally had decided that I'm going to graduate early because I had the credits to do it, and professional seasons start in the spring. So it just made sense to graduate early so I could kind of get started on the professional route. And I did want to at least get my degree, have my degree. So I wanted to make sure I was graduating. So I had decided I was going to graduate after the fall of my senior year. This is the fall of 2019. So school was virtual, but I lived in Williamsburg off campus, but I never went to campus. So I was living with some of my best friends, but school was virtual. So I was training in the mornings with a group. I think I had 2-3 friends who would come out and train with me, which was amazing, made it easier. So I would train every day in the morning and then lift in the afternoon, I think 3-4 times a week. But then I had found a local UPSL team in Norfolk called AC Commonwealth through Steve, because Steve was playing for them too, because he had some connections with the club and his girlfriend lived out there, so he was staying with her for a few months. So I reached out to them and they were in full operation during COVID. So I thought it was a great opportunity to get team training, get games, because the UPSL didn't stop. So I was training with them at nights, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then games on the weekend. So for me, senior fall was essentially a season. I was in season with a UPSL team playing, and we ended up winning our region. No, we ended up winning our conference. We went to the national round of 32. So it was a good season, and I got a lot of minutes and got some good film. And then I graduated high school. And then I graduated college. So January comes around and I get a phone call from the owner at a NISA club called Michigan Stars. So they're based in Detroit. He gives me a call, we talk for a few minutes, and he essentially invites me into preseason. So I was on the fence, do I go, do I not go? It's in Michigan, it's far away. To be honest, I was just scared. Scared I wasn't good enough, scared it was going to be a waste of time because I wasn't good enough, whatever. I was scared. So spoke to my mom about it, and she ultimately ended up convincing me to go. It's the reason I graduated early, so I could go to opportunities like this, and I just had to believe in myself. So I ended up going to Michigan, packed my car as if I was getting signed. In my head, I was not coming back without a contract. So packed my car, drive up to Michigan January 10th, I think, 11th, something like that. And I get there. Thankfully, I was able to stay with my cousin who lives quite close to the field and didn't have to worry about a hotel or food, whatever. So stay with my cousin, and I get there, and I think they only had about 10 returning players, so there were about 20 of us on trial. So the first 3 days, all we did was play, and we played, and they pulled a few of us aside after the first 3 days and said they wanted a further look at us. So they were moving us into the team housing, and we were going to stay for another week or two, kind of on trial before they made a decision on us. So I moved into the team housing, trained with the team for about 2 weeks total, and then I pulled my hamstring, unfortunately. So I pulled my hamstring, thought I could take a weekend off and come right back and be into training again, but it didn't work out. So the coach ended up saying that they were going to let me go, and I totally understand. They had to look at other guys, and I was kind of just dead weight that they had in the team housing. So I understand, nothing personal. That's the business. So it didn't end up working out up there. So I came home, I rehabbed for about 2 weeks, and then I was fine. So then I started training again. I started lifting again, just working hard, hoping for an opportunity. And at this time, I was following up on every email I sent, sending new ones, new emails I was finding, new contacts I was getting from people I met up in Michigan or guys I met wherever. So I was just sending emails out constantly, just trying to get something. So unfortunately, I didn't get any responses really. And March is coming around, and teams are starting preseason, guys are getting offered, guys are getting announced. I'm seeing all these guys, and I'm just starting to get nervous and thinking that, is this gonna work out? So I'm getting nervous, but then my family was going on vacation down in North Carolina to Lake Norman. So for those of you that don't know, Lake Norman is about 40 minutes away from Charlotte. So right around where Stumptown is, and crazy enough, Stumptown and North Carolina FC both had their open trials the week that I was in Lake Norman with my family, and they were back to back. So North Carolina FC was Thursday, Friday, and then Stumptown was Saturday, Sunday. So in my eyes, I was like, okay, this is a sign from the universe, and I have to go to both of these. So I signed up for both the trials. Thursday comes around, I drive 2 hours, 2.5 hours to Raleigh, go to the North Carolina FC trial, right back to the lake house with my family. So I did that for 2 days, drove about 5 hours both days for the trial. And it went well, played a lot, but ultimately didn't get a call back, unfortunately. But got good training out of it. So worst case, got some training. So didn't work out, but then quick turnaround, Stumptown started the next day. So I went to the Stumptown trial Saturday and Sunday night, and good news from the trial. The coach said, I got an email after the last day of the open trial for Stumptown. Coach was inviting me for a preseason kind of camp that he was having, a 3-day camp the week following the tryout. So the tryout ended on Sunday, and preseason camp started on Wednesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday was preseason camp. So I stayed. My family went back home, obviously, and I stayed for a few extra days and then went to the preseason camp. And the camp went well. It was 3 days, and we just played 11v11 almost the whole time, because I think coach had told us that they were trying to just sign guys as soon as possible because the season was starting within 3 weeks. So the camp went well. We played 11v11, and then the last day of the camp, coach was having individual meetings with everyone. So my meeting came along. I went up to him, said, "Hey coach, how are you?" He said, "Good, how are you?" And I was like, "I'm good." And I didn't know what to say, so I just kind of stood there for a second. And then he said that they were going to offer me a contract. So he just said, be on the lookout for a contract offer in your email in the next few days. So it was really anticlimactic, not gonna lie, just the way it happened. Very mellow, nonchalant. It was a little rainy day. I still remember it like it was yesterday, but I was like, did I do it? So it was fun. And then at the time, Jake Lovinger and I were actually staying at the same hotel. We were sharing a room, and we both got offered. So that was fun. But then the next few days, I was still paranoid because I'd heard things about guys getting ghosted from clubs and the contracts never getting sent or whatever. So I was a little paranoid until I did officially get the contract signed and done. But and then I was signed with Stumptown for the spring 2021 NISA season and re-signed for the fall 2021 season. So that's, I guess, my journey up until now. It is December 22nd, 2021. As of now, I do not know where I'm going to be next year, but I'm working on it. So whenever I figure it out, I'll be sure to let you guys know. So that's my journey so far, and I hope it was eye-opening to some of you guys. It's a little bit of an unorthodox journey to getting professional, I think, just because I personally had never heard of a guy that went to college and didn't play for his college that ultimately ended up playing pro. Because I know some guys don't go to college and then play or drop out or whatever, but I'd never heard a story of a guy that went and didn't play and still went pro. So that's, I guess, part of the reason I was so stressed to get on that William & Mary team, but everything ended up working out, and here I am now. So that is my journey to a professional contract, from the beginning to where I am now. And I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, leave a comment down below, let me know what you guys think. Any questions you have for me, any way I can elaborate, maybe any details I forgot, please don't be afraid to ask. And share this video, show your friends, show your family. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. The new goal is 1,000 subscribers. So we're going to get there soon. I'm feeling it. So I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.